What up, YouTube? I'm Redbeard, you're here with UDIDE.
What's up, Reserved? We're going to be playing a game of Pokemon random battles. What we're going to be doing is we've got a random number generator here. We're going to roll the numbers and then go to the Alolan Pokédex, find the corresponding Pokemon, breed them, and then battle them up.
Yeah, we're playing Sun and Moon here, not Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, just because we've got a lot of stock in this game, so it's a little bit easier for us to work with.
Yeah, this is the game we've been playing. We have breeding stock in this. We have Pokemon and egg groups to work with, so this won't take us too long. We're going to be doing singles.
Yep, and we've got 3 rules today, or for these matches. First rule, no legendaries. We want something that we can really breed and put our time and effort into, so we don't want to just rush in with some 3IV legendary or some hacked shiny legendary, you know? So
exactly.
we're definitely going breedable Pokemon only.
Yeah, and that's the point of this game, is to kind of see what you get, see how you can work with, and as a trainer adapt to what you're given. And the second rule we're going to go with is we're not playing no babies, we're not playing the little ones. We're going capped evolutionary line. So if I roll an Oddish, I'm going Vileplume. That's not mandatory. If I want to play like a Eviolite, Porygon 2.
Or like a Cypher.
Yeah, exactly. Fair game. So.
Alright, and then the third rule is we get one reroll on all of this. And I'm going to throw this in here. We use the reroll when we roll the Pokemon. So it's kind of like a gamble. Should we risk it and keep the Pokemon we don't like? Or should we just go with the reroll and hope we get something better on the other
Exactly.
side?
We don't want to be playing far-fetched. We don't want to be playing, anything we don't really want to if we don't have to, because we're going to be breeding these and having these as team members. So let's get started on this. You want to take a Rochambeau?
Let's go for the Rochambeau. 1, 2?
Yep. Got it. Alright, let's do it.
First roll, first roll.
Let's see. Hit me with that roll.
Alright.
Let's see.
283. Let's see what 283 is.
Up near the legendaries, up at the top. See what we got here.
283 is
Dragonite. Oh! I have been meaning to breed a Dragonite recently, and the only reason I haven't is because I don't want to look like I'm trying too hard. And I like to use Pokemon that are a little underused, but I will take that.
Exactly. Dragonite has some great options. He can go Tank Eater, he can go with speed, he can go with attack. So he's got a lot of options to choose from. Should we look him up and see what he's done at his disposal?
Yeah, let's take a look at his stats real quick.
Alright, Dragonite is in Kanto. Towards the bottom.
Got him.
Alright, Dragonite. Let's see what his
stats are. Take a look at these base stats here. I know they're going to be high. They're probably going to be around 600.
Alright, his HP's at 91.
Yeah, base stats 600.
Yeah.
So he's got, 134 attack is really high. That's going to be one-shotting all day. You're going to be handing out Okos, especially with a Dragon Dance under your belt.
Oh yes, that's another good option from him. Go for the Dragon Dance, get that speed buff. Hopefully you don't get something that can take you down, like an ice or something. But we'll just see what I roll, of course.
Yeah, we'll see what you get here. Alright, let's get started on your roll. See what we got. It's my first opponent. 68.
Let's see. 68 is going to be a Zubat. So I'm going to be going...
Crobat or Goldie?
Crobat.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be going Crobat. Let's see what I've got at my disposal. I see Crobat pretty often out there.
It's interesting. I actually have a 5IV Crobat that I've used on teams before. So we're gonna see how ours differ, I suppose.
Yes, I do. I have gone up against yours. I do remember him. Let's go see our Crobat.
A lot of people will put a Life Orb on these and run these Adamant Nature for full attack because they are naturally really fast. So most people max out the attack, or you can run Brave Birds on them.
He's got a good all-around setup here with a 90 attack, 85 HP, decent defense and special defense, 80 each, and his speed's really where he shines with 130. I have never really run a strong poison Pokemon, so I think I'm going to try and up his poison element a lot in this challenge.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Just for point of reference, 130 is very high for base speed. Once you get around 110, 115, that's where you start finding speed sweepers.
Exactly. I'm gonna also be going for some setups. Maybe if I can get an infiltrator, if I'm lucky, I can maybe go up against crushing down any defense he got. So,
Yeah.
Let's go with your second roll here.
Very interesting. Those are two good rolls.
All right, you ready?
Yes. Let's see. 35. Okay, keeping it in the lower division. That's good. We're gonna keep away from legendaries so far.
Oh, you are so lucky.
Munchlax.
Go
What?
Oh man. Why does he get all the good rolls? I'm probably gonna be getting some like Wingles or something next. Oh man. Wow.
Those are lucky rolls.
I mean, basically pseudo-legendary
Those
levels
are
here.
beefed.
Let's look up some Snorlax stats. I'm sure everybody knows Snorlax is tanky. Going with sleep builds are always fun with Snorlax. So you have a lot of options.
Yeah, you can run the sleep, the rest, and the snore. You can run. A lot of people run Curselax, which is super effective. Curse down your speed. Run, say, Body Slam. Up your defense with the curse, and you're rolling through your opponents. And they're easy Pokemon to set up too, because they're beefy. You don't have to. It's not a a glass cannon where it's going to be tough to get set up.
Exactly. I mean, he's got access to like rest. He can amnesia, things like that. So he can really toy with the opponent, especially if he gets someone that can Trick Room and get a speedy Snorlax.
That's right. Yeah.
So let's see. He's got an HP of 160, which is absolutely insane for base stats of any any stat in any Pokemon.
I'm liking his special defense. 110 is really good special defense. I've never looked at Snorlax stats before, and I've never played one, but this is pretty much what I was expecting. This is pretty much what I was expecting to see, so I'm pleased.
Yes, got a very high attack with this 110 also. I mean, if you get the Snorlaxium Z, get access to that Pancake Z move. We'll see how you can go with that. Alright, now we're going to go ahead with my second roll here.
270.
Alright, let's see what we've got here for 270.
I'm feeling a good roll. I'm feeling a good roll on this one for you.
I'm hoping.
270. We're going to be right around here.
Yes.
Oh. Right here, Executor. Interesting. There's your ice.
Yes. There.
You can hit that ice beam.
I'm going to be going with the Alolan Executor too. So I'm gonna be trying something that I've never seen before.
Hit some dragon types too. That's good coverage.
Executor. I did play a lot of Executor back in the original card game, but that's a totally different ball game. So I'm excited to see what I can do with him. Let's look at the stats here.
Yeah, he's going to be an interesting one. He said earlier he was hoping for the ice type. He's clearly not the ice type. He's got the dragon typing and a Alolan.
The dragon type I can definitely use against that Dragonite as well.
Yeah, dragon's effective against dragon, and then most Executors carry Ice Beam. So that's gonna be super useful. Again, like he said, I've never personally used one. I don't often use grass types, but I think that's gonna be a good one. I think that's gonna hold up.
I hope so, because he does have a pretty high special attack with 125, and he's not super beefy. He's got a 95 attack and 85 defense, so he can probably hold his own and hopefully not get one shot. But I'm really going to be banking on that special attack. Even though his Snorlax is high in it, I can probably take out his Dragonite pretty quickly with that. So we'll hopefully get some good movesets and some good rolls on our IVs while we're breeding them. Alright, so I'm going to write that down, and then we will go ahead and breed your next one. Or roll your next one, sorry. I totally spelled that wrong.
Let's do it. 39.
You're in the 30s.
Yeah, we're rolling low, which is good.
Yes.
Which is what I like to see.
Some earlier Pokemon.
39. Where are we? Slowking. Wow. That is a beef team. That is a beef team.
I'm gonna be in some trouble. Oh,
wow.
Man.
If I didn't roll this team, I would be embarrassed to play it.
Oh man.
Typically, I like use an underutilized Pokemon with little gimmicky movesets. I think it's fun. I think it's fun to take out legendaries with my Cloyster. You know, these are not Pokemon that are like that. These are beefed from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say only your Dragonite really has a chance of doing some Okos with like a Dragon Dance or something. The Slowking does have a pretty decent special attack and special defense though, so he's gonna counter my Exeggutor pretty hard. And he does have access to the Psychic, and Psychic is usually pretty strong all around, even though it does have its weaknesses. At the moment, I don't really have anything that is weak or is strong against him. So we're gonna have some troubles. At least I am on this front.
I don't like that 75 attack taking up those base stats. That's kind of gross seeing that on him. I'd rather put those somewhere else. But
one thing you do have to look at is that 30 speed as well.
That's what caught my eye to begin with as well.
I mean, unless I roll something slower than that, I'm gonna outspeed you every time, no matter who I have.
That is why a lot of Slowkings roll Trick Room. They carry Trick Room and they carry ways to get around that particularly because they are extremely slow. But again, it's a Pokemon I like. I really enjoy them from like the early animes and the early years of Pokemon. I used to like that that evolutionary line. Oh, yeah. So I'm happy with it.
Especially in Pokemon 2000.
Yeah.
One of the first that like really could speak and have an intelligent conversation with the cast of the show. Alright, now we're going to my final roll, and then we will get things started. 208. Let's see what we've got here.
Skarmory. That's a weird one. I'm not even really sure how that one's played, to be honest. This one's not one I see a lot. And the only thing that I think will benefit you as a steel type, as they are typically pretty beefy. But again, I don't really know much about Skarmory.
I haven't run a Skarmory in a very long time, but back in 2nd Gen in Silver, I actually had one. I ran one on my main team, running through it, and I just had Swift on him, and that was his move. I just Swift everything, and if it wasn't an Oko, it was close to it. So hopefully I can get something in these later gens that's going to help me not only outspeed your team, but get some strong hits, you know, because you do have a lot of special defense. So if he has some high attack, we can get around that a little bit.
Yeah, like I said in my experience, I remember trying to find them in 3rd generation in the ashy grass. I remember having just a hard time finding one and capturing one. I thought they were really cool, and I thought they were super rare and really good.
Ooh, he's got 140 defense, which is not what I was expecting.
Like what I said, most steel types have a pretty high defense.
I did expect a high defense because, again, I rocked one back in the day, but I was expecting that attack to be a little bit higher. So I think I'm going to go ahead and try and beef up his attack with some EVs. And then also his speed, of course, because he's got a 70 base speed, which isn't as fast as I would hope for, but I mean, he's got a pretty slow team. So unless he goes Trick Room... I should be in the clear on speed with that.
Now looking at my looking at our Pokemon now, Skarmory is looking like he could give me some problems with that 140 defense, because the main power for my team is going to be from that Dragonite, and he's going to be very likely rolled attack. And he could give me some issues there, especially if you can play up that 80 attack. His 80 attack is decent. If you can get some way to play that up, you can really play off that 80 defense, or that 140 defense, sorry.
Alright, so ahead, there is our rolls. We've got reserved over here. Let's see if we can get that to focus. It might not. There we go. We've got reserved with a Dragonite, Munchlax, and a Slowking. And me, Redbeard, with a Crobat, Exeggutor, and Skarmory. Alright, so what do you think of your team reserved?
Yeah, I like it. I think I would be a fool not to accept it. I think I'd be a fool to re-roll and get stuck with something that I'm not super familiar with. These 3 Pokemon, I'm not going to have to do too much digging. I'm just going to have to take a look at their movesets and put something together, which is something I really enjoy doing, and then breed them up. And I think I have all the ingredients. I think I have all the Pokemon that I need to start this breeding. So hopefully we can get this done. I can get this done fairly quick, and get an effective team, another effective team under my belt. So what about you?
Overall, I like my team. I like that I have a speed sweeper in Crobat. I like that I have my special attack Executor. I think I may go ahead and use my reroll on my Skarmory though.
Okay, make it interesting.
Make it a little bit more interesting for the viewers, and I also don't think I have any good flying stock to breed with, so I think he's going to give me a lot of trouble in the long run, so I'm going to go ahead and do a reroll on that. Alright, so let's reroll. Generate number. 204. Now that's real close to what I was just at.
Yeah,
So
we've been rolling on 200s and a lot of low.
Ooh, this is exciting too. Silvally. That's something I definitely can do. I do have a few type nulls from when I got the national decks.
I have none.
Yes, I am gonna try and breed him as much as I can. Is he breedable though? I think he is. I want to double check that.
I don't know. I know he's handed out. I believe. I don't have that in my game.
I got mine through the story mode, and I'm sure people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, these guys are such idiots."
Yeah,
you know.
And anyone I've played with knows I don't mess with any part of the storyline. I don't have to. I'm in it for the breeding. I'm in it for the battling. I don't mess with legendaries. I don't even have my Tapus. I don't care. I'll trade my Lunala for a piece of gum. It's not something I'm interested in. That's not where I derive my fun in Pokemon.
I mean, that is true in my case as well, although I did complete all the story, because in Sun and Moon, they have the lowest national decks. You only have to catch like 300 something Pokemon, I think. So I burned that out as fast as I could, because I wanted that shiny charm.
You got that one fast.
Yeah, if I tried doing that in like X and Y or Ruby and Sapphire, it would just take me way too long.
Yeah.
So I went with this one. If I'm going for my shiny breeding, I'm going to do it in this game from now on.
Yeah.
But I was right for checking. Silvally cannot breed, so I am going to have to re-roll that. So let's see.
Again, like we said, that's kind of the point of this video, is to be able to breed and choose from the move sets and maybe see what kind of egg moves they have, and just adapt as a trainer.
Exactly. So, and also it gives us more experience with the game, with planning out strategies. We plan on doing this quite a lot with multiple people. We're thinking about doing a battle royale next with two of our friends. So we'll keep this going. Let us know if you like these videos. So I'm going to do my reroll now. 154, sticking in those high numbered areas. 153, Goldeen.
Is that a Seaking? Interesting.
This is great. I do actually have a shiny Goldeen, but I've never run a Seaking before. I've never been a huge fan of the fish-type Pokemon, besides Magikarp and Gyarados, obviously, but I am excited to see what I can do with him. Let's see.
You see a Swift Swimmer? I'm not all too familiar with Seaking, and I should, because I love me some water types. Actually, in my game, I have a water gym. I have, 6 Pokemon that I bred, all 5 IVs, or 5 IV, fully EV trained, that I run. I like water types, but I'm not familiar with this one, so.
He does have a really good Starmie that he's used for quite a while, as well as a Cloyster.
Yeah.
Seaking, he's a pretty decent all-around. I'm not a huge fan of all of his stats. 92 attack, 80 HP, 80 defense, and a 68 speed, which isn't bad. It outspeeds most of his. And if I get Trick Roomed, it's not going to affect the Seaking too hard, because he's kind of in that average medium range.
These are interesting stats. That 92 attack is pretty decent. I'm not too familiar with his move pool, and I'm not too familiar with his abilities, because if you can get a Swift Swim and get a Rain Dance and just outspeed my team all day, and that speed stat won't matter. So
let's go ahead.
He's also got that probably Toxic or.
Yeah, we've got the abilities right here. We are using Cerebi, by the way, to look up all of our stats. We're using Pokemon Database for the Alolan Pokedex numbers, and we're just using Google's random number generator as well, if anyone was interested. So Seaking does have access to Swift Swim, and Winter Veil. His hidden ability is Lightning Rod, but he doesn't have anyone.
You're not
with
going to
real
want to use
lightning.
that.
I mean, his Dragonite maybe, but I don't expect him to run any lightning moves.
Yeah, the Swift Swim is what you're going to want to be using. Water Veil, I'm not a fan of, because if you're an adept trainer, you're not going to be using fire-type moves on a water Pokemon.
Exactly.
You're going to be making a switch out, or it's just the only time you're going to be doing that is in a real pinch, and I'm not going to be wasting an ability on a pinch setting, you know, especially Swift Swim, which is one of my favorites. Like I said, I like water Pokemon, so Swift Swim is one that I like to carry on a lot of my mons.
Oh yeah, I mean, and it does work really well because he does have that slightly higher than average speed. You know, it's right around in the middle there, but with Swift Swim, it can really boost him up.
Yeah.
Give me definitely a lot more speed, especially if he does Trick Room. I can kind of counteract it.
Absolutely.
So let's look at his moveset a little bit. I'm a little curious to see what attack type moves he has. I like that he has Mega Horn. It's not a very common move that you see, but I think it will counteract his Slowking pretty well with that Psychic type. I don't think I'm going to be rocking any poison with my Seaking because I do have that Crobat that I want to get all poison buffed. I may...
He's got agility too. You could really run a really fast Seaking if you wanted to. Okay, there's the Rain Dance. There's the Rain Dance.
I definitely want to go with the Rain Dance with him because my other two can't obviously do that. I could rock the Ice Beam with him as well, but because my Executor has a higher special attack, I definitely want to keep that on him for my attacks. But we'll see. I think I might go with a Mega Horn. Maybe we'll mix things up, you know, do a little bit of a waterfall. Something you don't see very commonly. I just want to... This is a random after all, you know. I want to get a random build with my random Pokemon.
The idea is to experiment. It's not... I'm not going to approach my team in the way of like, what's the best way to just destroy Red? I'm not going to go at it like that. I'm going to go see what's an interesting moveset that I haven't seen run on this Pokemon, and I'm probably going to go that route.
And I mean, Seaking in general, I don't see run very often,
exactly.
So this is something that's interesting to me. And because I don't see him often, I don't know a good moveset that he would go with. So I'm going to experiment and see what I can do. I don't think he can learn Liquidation. If he could, I would love that. But we'll see what he's got, and we'll play around with it. So let me change this official document here of our Pokemon.
Get you guys another look at the final battle roster here. Get a good focus on this bad boy.
We got our Dragonite, Munchlax or Snorlax in Chris's case, the Slowking, Crobat, Executor, and Seaking. So we will see how this goes. Alright, so off screen we went ahead and researched our Pokemon a little bit better, looked through the moves, came up with the basic move set and some ideas for strategies that we're going to do. It's all subject to change. As we're breeding, things might pop in our heads, or we might discover new fun things to do with the Pokemon.
Yeah, this is just more or less a rough estimate for you guys of our first, our first impressions of the Pokemon and kind of what avenues we intend to go down. So the first one we looked at was my Slowking, the one I'm going to be using on my team. And the first thing I thought, first impression, was the bulk and the beefiness of this. So I want to not necessarily go the tank route, but I want to use that bulk. So what I decided to do is I'm going to use that bulk to set up. And I went for a Calm Mind, and I'm going to use another hard-hitting Psychic special attack move, so Psychic or what have you. And then in order to get set up, I'm going to do it's dirty. I'm going to go the Paraflinch route, and I'm going to put a Swagger and Thunder Wave on him, right? So I'm going to get the Confusion and I'm going to get the Paralysis, and it's going to be really hard to hit through. So once you put that on top of the natural bulk of the Pokemon, it's going to be tough to get me down before I have a few Calm Minds to where I'm going to be hitting really hard. So that, just off the bat, that was kind of my first thoughts as to what I'm going to go for when we were looking up these move pools. And the next one we looked at was a Crobat.
Yeah.
Take that.
Because he's going with that dirty stop up moveset, I'm going to try and counter that Slowking a little bit with my Crobats. And I also want him to be a bit of a speed sweep because he is my fastest. He's got that 130 base speed.
That's right. Incredibly fast.
And I do want to focus on the poison aspect a little bit because he's going for that more stally build. I want to kind of counteract his stalls with some poison. I'm also going to focus sash him because I don't want to get one shot with my heaviest attacker right off the bat because that's never fun.
Yeah, that's never good. Take him out first.
I'm going to go with cross poison as his main attack. Also a swords dance just to buff up that speed and that attack.
Make sure he's hitting me hard enough. Because, like we said, my Pokemon are going to be fairly beefy, so he's going to have to put some work in to get that attack up.
Exactly, and if he does stall me up with that Para Flinch, I do want something to counter that too. So I went ahead and threw the taunt. I'm going to go do a taunt on him. So in case he does try to pull that crap, I can just counter that and make him do his one attack move.
That's right, and that taunt will shut me down. If he gets that off, that basically nullifies my entire strategy that I'm going for with Slowking.
Exactly, and for my final move, I thought, if he's going to go with that stally, crappy build, I'm going to give that right back to him with a Confuse Ray. So if he tries doing that, it's going to be just twice as hard for him to get set up and get that tankiness going.
Very fitting on a Crobat.
Exactly, and then after that, we're going to move on to Reserve's Snorlax.
That's right. So the Snorlax, once again, everybody knows Snorlax is one of the bulkiest. High HP. Like I said before, a lot of people use them for Curse, and that was my first idea, but I want to do something different. I run a Curse Umbreon on my team. He's one of the Pokemon that I usually bring into tough battles, or when I'm really trying to demonstrate my power. So I did something different. I'm going to go Belly Drum with Snorlax, and I'm going to run Recycle. So I'm going to either get more than likely an Eopapa Berry. It's going to give me a little bit more heal than a Citrus. And I can handle being in the lower health ranges with Snorlax. So I'm going to get a Recycle to restore that berry, and then I'm going to get that Belly Drum. So hopefully I can max out that attack, and then I'm going to go with a heavy hitting attack, Wild Charge, or what's the move?
Giga Impact
as
well.
Exactly. Body Slam, all those Snorlax ones, what have you. It doesn't really matter when you're +6 attack. So
yeah. Also, though, if you do get the Giga Impact, you can go ahead and run the Snorlaxian Z on him.
That's right. We were talking about that.
Giga Impact has a base move power of 150 on top of his boosted attack stats. With the Z move, that move will OHKO anything probably.
Yeah.
So that's going to be something I'm worried about. But moving into my Seaking, I think I'm going to go with Swift Swim Rain Dance so I can outspeed him and hopefully shut him down before he gets all of that set up, because that's something that's really going to worry me is his setups. I'm also going to go with Mega Horn to counteract his Slowking, get a little bit of the weakness going. I might run an Aqua Ring on him, get the heals, maybe keep him a little bit beefier.
Get that sustain.
I by no means expect him to last extremely long, but since he does have a more beefy team, I think I can last a little bit longer to get those Aqua Rings off.
Maybe run a berry on him as well.
Exactly.
Or maybe even you could hit him with some leftovers and get that double.
Get that constant heal up as well. And then to wrap it all up, I think I'm going to go an Aqua Tail on him just to get the extra stab.
Exactly. Get the stab and get the coverage, and what have you. And for my last Pokemon, Dragonite, a lot of people will just Dragon Dance, Roost, and then wipe the field, and that's cool. That's super sick. You're running a pseudo legendary, so it's not that impressive. I kind of wanted to run something different. So initially, looking at his move set, I'm interested in Substitute. I've never run a Substitute Pokemon, but I think it's a really interesting way to fight, and I really like seeing it utilized in battle. It's frustrating as hell.
Dragonite has that inherent beefiness to him as well. I mean, he's not He's not the tankiest, he's no Snorlax, he's no Slowking, but I mean, he does have that fighter in him, you know, so he can dish it out, but also take some hits. So I think with that substitute, he's really going to be forced to be reckoned with.
Right, so I'm going to run, on top of that, I'm going to run the Roost. So I'm going to have Substitute and Roost and try and keep my sustain. And then on top of that, I'm going to have Outrage. And that's going to be, what I'm hoping is going to be the root of my damage for my team. And that's where I'm hoping to get the most kills with. And my fourth attack, I'm probably going to run a coverage, maybe Dragon Tail. Not for coverage, but in order to get his Pokemon rotated out and kind of get those change-ups.
Kind of throw off my throwing him off.
Exactly.
Alright, and lastly, my Executor, I knew I wanted to go special attack with him. But I'm going to go ahead and do a Sunny Day build with him.
This is an interesting one.
I'm going to do a Sunny Day with a Solar Beam. Obviously get that one-turn Solar Beam. Hopefully being able to take down anything he's got coming at me.
That 120 base power?
Yes.
That's a heavy hitter for once every turn.
Yeah. So it's going to be pretty strong. I'm also, coupled with that, I'm going to run a Synthesis. So with the Sunny Day, the Synthesis is going to get that heal buff. So if he does get some damage off on me, again, because he's running more tankier Pokemon, he's not going to be one-hitting me as much, unless he's got his Snorlax buffed up, of course. But once I can get my Executor going with his Sunny Day, I think I can really hammer his tanking down. And I'm going to wrap it up with a Dragon Tail, just to, again, if he buffs up, switch him out, throw those buffs off of him.
Yeah, and like you noticed, a lot of my Pokemon rely on setups. I have that Belly Drum, which will be absolutely destroyed by the Dragon Tail. As soon as I'm out, all that +6 is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to redo my setup. My Slowking with the Calm Minds, those Calm Minds will be gone. So again, the Taunt, like I said before, will give me a lot of trouble. And I think that Dragon Tail will give me a lot of trouble. And I think Mike has picked some good moves to really counter my my shenanigans in this one. And I think he's going to do a good job. I think this is going to be a really good match.
I think this is going to be like a tanky, tricky build going up against kind of an all-around build on my side. I've got the special attack, I've got the regular attack, and then I've got the speed. But he's got all that tankiness and he's got all of that mix-up on me. So who knows what can happen in this match?
Yeah, and I'm not trying to play fair with this one. I'm not going super traditional, but I definitely like some gimmicks. All my Pokemon typically have some sort of gimmick to them.
Going for that roguey, like sand in the eye, kick him while he's down kind of build. I mean, that's definitely how Pokemon is. You can have such radical different builds. So I'm excited to see how this goes. And we're going to get to breeding. We're going to have some videos of us breeding individually. And let's get started.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.